And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning. Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports meets life. We appreciate your patience here this morning. And as we're going to be talking about the World Baseball Classic, I thought I should wear something that was colorful like their logo and has the world on it. So Super Nintendo World, if you haven't gotten yourself out to Universal Epic Universe, you could take a look at Super Powered Pop, my entertainment show that's at Super Powered Pop, and that's on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and you can get a look at it and get my thoughts on it, my experience of what it's like to go out to Universal Epic Universe. And speaking of the worlds, we're going to be talking World Baseball Classic today. Like I mentioned here, we're also going to be speaking on the NCAA Men's Basketball World in Division 1. The men's basketball conference tournaments are going on right now, and I'm going to be a part of it this week, the women's and men's basketball tournaments. I'll be covering the American and the ACC closely with interviews coming to you by the grace of God. And then from there, I'll be covering the entire country, and we're going to be addressing the teams and the conferences that have already punched their tickets, and also give a shout out to the UConn women's team. They said that Gino Auriemma and UConn could never be themselves again because of NIL and the transfer portal. Well, nobody's beaten them. Copy and paste that from other years in the Gino Auriemma UConn history. And so we'll get into that a little bit as well. And we'll talk about the NFL and provide some thoughts for you on things that are happening, including something that happened this morning that I just shared on social media. So a lot of great stuff coming up with Murph on a Murph Monday. And as we start off this week from our typical studio setting, the rest of the week will be spent with my studio being the Spectrum Center. The home of the Charlotte Hornets, a.k.a. The Hive, is the home of the ACC tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I will be broadcasting live on site, on location, with in-person guests from the ACC at the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, making history here on Wake Up Call this week. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the broadcast with us here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Please go and visit Great Lakes Honda City Monday through Saturday from the wonderful, wonderful 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can't miss it. They're an awesome location of new and used vehicles, and you can check them out online all the time at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. We are picture-in-picture with Murphalation Station. He's here with us this morning as we start off the week, and at the end of this week, we will know who's going to the men's and women's NCAA Division I basketball tournaments, as Selection Sunday is a week away from yesterday. March 15th is going to make the decision of who's going to be in and who is out. We know our automatic bids and our at-large bids are upon us, and this entire week is going to round out the majority of the field of the automatic bids. There's some that have already been punched. There's more that will come within the next few days, and I will be on site on location once again. Thanks be to God for those opportunities and those moments. And Murph, I wanted to share it, but I wanted to share it on the air with you here with me, that we'll be making history on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, 22 plus years into broadcasting and always looking to do something new and innovative for the show. We will be on site, on location at the Spectrum Center, broadcasting with live in-person guests inside the Hive, home of the Charlotte Hornets, for the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. And that starts in just a couple days. How are you?
I am doing well, my friend. If I sound a little off today, it is because I just spent 3 days at the Philly show and my voice is practically gone. So I'm going to be doing my best here um, to try and make it through the way I sound right now. But it was a great time. We had a blast, and that sounds like for you down in Charlotte with the ACC is going to be a lot of fun too. Um, Conference is really competitive this year.
Yeah.
So, it could be one of about four or five different teams that can easily get the auto bid.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun, and to be able to I've never broadcasted live from the Spectrum Center before. So to be able to do that now, I mean, I've gone live from Charlotte. I've gone live from the state of North Carolina. I've gone live from obviously Greensboro a bunch of times there around tournament time. But to be able to do it on site, on location at the Hive means a lot to me because, one, it's a new location to put into the world of places that Wake Up Call's been broadcasted from. And two, because, you know, it's an opportunity for me to be around even more closely to the Charlotte Hornets, which was my first favorite team growing up as a kid. Before the Raptors came into existence when I was 9 years old, I was a Charlotte Hornet fan growing up and a fan of Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, who's been on the show, as well as Kendall Gill and company. And I was actually at the Charlotte Hornets Spectrum Center when they came back into existence, became a franchise again, and when Michael Jordan had ownership of them and they were coming back to the NBA after becoming the Charlotte Bobcats, I was there for the first game. I got a commemorative ticket somewhere in this, right here, actually. I got a commemorative ticket and a shirt that looked like a suit. So the comeback opening night ticket, and we all got t-shirts. And so I got to be there when the Hive was the home of the Charlotte Hornets the first day that it happened. So this is going to come with me, and it's going to sit with me and be some part of the on-camera experience of being in Charlotte, and just means a lot to me for being a Charlotte Hornet fan growing up as a kid, to being there for opening night when they returned, to now being there and broadcasting my show from there. It's definitely been an evolution of time at the Spectrum Center, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that too. I think that's gonna be pretty fun. Obviously, getting to do something different is always a cool thing. But normally I'm not gonna bring up this kind of a thing. But Adam Schefter just posted a bomb, and it involves my New York Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets are getting Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins for a seventh round pick. And we are also going to be signing him to a 3-year, $40 million contract. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Dolphins give up a good pick to get him back from the Steelers?
Yeah, the Dolphins, they traded a pick and they also traded a player when they moved, when
I
Minka
thought they
moved.
gave up like a 2 to get him back. Hang on, I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, because I reported it when they had the move of Minka going back to the from the Steelers to the Dolphins. It was, let me see here.
Oh, okay.
The
They
trade.
got him and a 5th round pick for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 7th. Okay.
Yeah, it was the Jalen Ramsey swap. So, yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick's back. By the way, another giant thing that happened here this morning. Well, some of you were waking up and rubbing your eyes and whatnot. John Eric Sullivan, the new general manager of the Miami Dolphins, has already made the biggest decision of his GM life in Miami. Quote, I recently informed Tua and his representation that we are going to move in a new direction at the quarterback position and will be releasing him after the start of the new league year. As I shared with Tua, speaking of Tua Tagovailoa, the starting quarterback of many years in Miami, as I shared with Tua, I have great respect for the person and player he is. On behalf of the Miami Dolphins, I expressed our gratitude for his many contributions, both on the field and in the community, during his 6 seasons in Miami. As we move forward, we will be focused on infusing competition across the roster and establishing a strong foundation for this team as we work toward building a sustained winner. End quote. So as of this morning, the Miami Dolphins will not have the quarterback that they have tried to have under center when healthy for the last 6 seasons. And that means that my guy Quinn Ewers, he might be getting a chance to at least show himself for the first few weeks, and we'll see what they decide to do. Are they going to try to trade up? Are they going to be advantageous in free agency, which does not have a deep pool of players when it comes to quarterback, or are they going to look to teams and try to steal somebody away? The Miami Dolphins, it's now open season for their quarterback position.
Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting names that are going to be hitting the market this offseason, but at the same time, these guys are getting cut for a reason.
Yeah.
Tua is a free agent because he's been terrible. Now, I don't think that's entirely his fault. He's had about, 55 concussions and his head might not be all there anymore. Surprised it's still on his head with the amount of times he's gotten hit. Kyler Murray is another guy. I think he's probably going to be the most interesting name on the market. Again, he's a guy who's had some success. Didn't really have good pieces around him in the last couple of years in Arizona.
Yeah.
And he's going to be hitting the open market. Where he goes, I don't know. I think Minnesota makes a lot of sense for him if they're going to move off of J.J. McCarthy. Jets make sense too, but I don't know that I don't really know that Frank Reich wants to bring Kyler Murray in to run his offense. It sounds like he really wants Carson Wentz of all people, which makes me want to puke. He's also a free agent. Daniel Jones got tagged by the Colts.
Transition
I believe he
tag.
got a transition tag.
Yeah.
And then you have a couple other names that are going to be hitting the market, like Kirk Cousins. He's a guy that might get a starting job somewhere, might not. It's going to really come down to does he want to start or does he want to win?
Yeah.
If he wants to win, he's going to probably go somewhere as a backup, which, where I think his best chance to win as a backup would be?
Where?
The Kansas City Chiefs. That would be interesting. But, it's football offseason starting to move. I mean, the new league year, I believe, starts this week.
Yeah.
So the legal tampering period, I believe, starts on Thursday or Friday. Something like that.
Yeah, the NFL's new league year as they get set, because we know that the draft is
The
fast
15th, right?
is fast approaching. So the NFL's new league year, and it's crazy when you think about how quickly the draft's coming up. March 11th. So this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, as we are here on March 9th. And so that the new league year will happen with on March 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Free agency signings can begin, trades can be finalized, so on and so forth. And teams have to be under a salary cap, which is now $301.2 million. So that's where it just feels like that's massive. But yeah, so we're looking at this, and I just want to make sure, I want to confirm everything because I'm looking at the full league calendar right now in the studio. So yes, the free agency signing period will begin at 4 p.m. this Wednesday, March 11th. Trading period for 2026 begins at 4 p.m. Eastern time as well, after expiration of all 2025 contracts. The first day of the 2026 league year will end at 11:59:59. On March 12th, clubs will receive a personnel notice that will include all transactions submitted to the league office during the period between 4 p.m. and 11:59:59 on March 11th, and then March 29th to April 1st, the annual league meeting will happen in Phoenix, Arizona. So when Miami says we've informed Tua that he is going to be released in the new league year, they're telling you on March 9th that he's going to be released in a little bit over 48 hours, because in 2 days at 4 p.m., that's when it would go through. So the rumblings and different stuff going on, we shall see as the new league year opens up. How advantageous will people be after Kyler Murray? And who wants him? How many want him? He's the name of all the names in the market right now. Daniel Jones, who brought the Indianapolis Colts from obscurity to a playoff caliber team. Now that he's been transition tagged, are they really looking to move him? And are they really looking at finding another quarterback when it didn't work out with Anthony Richardson and it hasn't? I would think Daniel Jones was one of the most shocking positive surprises, if not the most shocking positive surprise of the NFL. The one that I would say was the more shocking of Daniel Jones and put him 2 and put this other guy 1 is the guy that won the NFL title game, which is Sam Darnold with the Seattle
Yeah.
Seahawks. So, I mean, why Daniel Jones has any tag on him right now is beyond me. I think it's a bad decision for the Colts if he was to move, and the transition tag allows them to match, as we talked about last week. They can match offers with him, and if he were to move and they don't want to match it, they're not seeking high draft picks to take from a team. So they're making it easier for a team to take him if the market is high for Daniel Jones. And I don't know why it wouldn't be with a bunch of teams out there needing a quarterback now, Miami potentially being a part of that group. So I'm a little confused by the Colts. It's like you struck gold when people were treating him like he was copper, and now you're willing to lose him. So what's the plan? That's an interesting one for me right now.
To me, I think the plan is just simple. You put the transition tag on him basically to keep teams away from signing him. Now, granted, it's a lot different than putting the transition tag on like a running back because teams are a lot less likely to give up a pick to get a running back. That's why the Jets put the non-exclusive franchise tag on Breece Hall. Nobody is giving up 2 first-round picks to sign Breece Hall. So Breece Hall will be back with the Jets. As for Daniel Jones, realistically, somebody's going to make him an offer, and the Colts are going to match it. That's just the way it's going to be. The only way the Colts let him walk, I think, is if it's long-term, a lot of guaranteed money, knowing full well he's coming off an Achilles. He ain't starting the season. He's going to probably miss the first few weeks of next season because of the injury. He was great with the Colts. And I emphasize the word great. They were what? 7-1 before he got hurt.
I mean, they were en route. They were a team that was
They were going to cruise to the division title.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a double-digit win Colt team, and I mean that's been few and far between since Andrew Luck decided to hang it up at a young age of, I believe, 27. And so, yeah, I mean, this whole kind of run for the Colts this year has been really amazing. Jonathan Taylor looked more like himself. Finally, you had a quarterback that could get your ball out to your main guys. And I mean, the Colts look like they finally had somebody to run their offense and utilize their skill players. And Michael Pittman Jr., who people were like in fantasy, wow, this guy's a bust. No, there just wasn't somebody getting him the ball, and he was getting involved. Tyler Warren, I had predicted, would have a fantastic run into the NFL as a rookie coming out of Penn State, and he absolutely has. And then Alec Pierce, a guy that, I covered Cincinnati over the years, and Alec Pierce came from there, and he did well as well. So, I mean, the guy that's running your system and running it strong, I would think that that's the one you want to keep. So we'll see what they do with it and how long of a deal do they sign. Do they give him 2 years? Do they give him 3? Are they looking to do something like that? Are they looking to negotiate with Daniel Jones? I mean, he's coming off of his best NFL season, and unfortunately, yeah, he got injured, but I mean, this guy put him in a better place not playing the full season than quarterbacks have put the Colts in for many years in between Andrew Luck and now. So, I mean, I would be surprised if they don't want Daniel Jones to be under center if he's healthy.
I agree. And honestly, I think the transition tag was used as a tool to find out what his market is. Because I think they're going to match pretty much any offer that's made. And I think that's going to steer teams away from maybe doing as much homework on him because they think he's just going to go back to the Colts. Excuse me. But I think just looking at it, I don't see a world where he goes anywhere other than the Colts or the Minnesota Vikings. That's a place that I can see him going back to. That's the only team I think that makes any sort of sense for Daniel Jones other than the Colts. So, getting back with Shane Steichen and working with the Colts, I think would be good for him. He probably, he's still around the team when Philip Rivers is there. I'm sure he learned a little bit by watching Philip Rivers, how he, handled himself, how he played, um, just to kind of see where they were at. And it's, obviously New York wasn't for him. I think the Giants the pieces they had around him didn't help.
Yeah.
He finally had some talent around him when he got to the Colts. He had, when he was on the Colts, like he's got A.D. Mitchell, he's got Alec Pierce, he's got Michael Pittman Jr., he's got Tyler Warren, he's got Jonathan Taylor, he's got a solid offensive line. Defense wasn't great, but they were able to put up a lot of points and win games.
Yeah.
So he had pieces around him. When he was with the Giants, he really didn't have any pieces. He had Saquon. That was it. They didn't have any good receivers. He might have overlapped. I think he overlapped with Odell for 1 year, if that. I don't even know that that's right. But he had no help. With the Colts, he had help. When in the appearances he played with the Vikings, he had help. So, you put Daniel Jones around a decent team, he'll probably be successful. It wouldn't shock me if he pulls a Sam Darnold. I'm not saying he's going to go and win a Super Bowl, but the next Sam Darnold, folks, might be very apparent. It very well could be Daniel Jones. Guy comes drafted in New York, highly touted prospect, flames out with the team he got drafted by, goes somewhere else as a backup, learns how to be an NFL football player, goes somewhere else and plays well. Then goes somewhere else again, or in Daniel Jones's case, stays put after an injury. Goes somewhere else and wins. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to win a Super Bowl, but he's gonna win. I really truly think that Daniel Jones is a guy that can win games in the NFL, that can take you into the postseason. He did it. He's got a postseason win already under his belt.
Yeah.
So, looking at it that way, he's a guy that has had success in the postseason. He's 1-1. He's been there. It's not like he's just a guy that's never been to the playoffs, right? Sam Darnold had never been to the postseason before last year, outside of with the Niners, but he wasn't playing. It's a little different when you're actually playing. But ultimately, for me, I look at Daniel Jones and I see a guy that's probably going to win somewhere, whether he stays with the Colts, whether he goes to Minnesota, or he goes somewhere else. I really do believe he is, a better player than people give him credit for. I believed it when he was in New York. I thought he was the way he processed the game. I thought he was a similar style player outside of his ability to run to Eli Manning.
Yeah.
So I thought he was a good, long-term replacement for Eli Manning. I didn't think he was going to be Eli Manning and win 2 championships, but I figured he would be a guy that can come in, have some success, build a sustained winner, and then see what happens. Maybe you make a run. Eli did it. Eli beat the 18-0 Patriots, and with the greatest quarterback to ever play the game running their offense. So you never know. I mean, I would bet a lot of money that he's going to go back to the Colts. They will match whatever deal is offered to him, and he'll be a Colt going forward. It's just going to be a matter of how long and for how much money.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Daniel Jones and his history, and you talked about did he cross with Odell? He did not. He ended up when Daniel Jones became the starter in 2019, after Eli Manning in 2018, he had Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, Evan Engram at the time. When you look back at Daniels, and really the thing was did he have a line to protect him? Did he have a line to help him? And you made mention that the Colts had a better line. If you look at Daniel Jones' history with the New York Giants from 2018 or 2019 forward, he was sacked 38, 45, 22, 44, 30, and 29 times. He was sacked 22 times last season in 13 games with the Indianapolis Colts. So the least amount of times he was sacked when he was a member of the New York Giants, that's what he got last year with the Indianapolis Colts.
Can I
So,
ask a question?
yeah.
Was the 22 sack year with the Giants the year they went to the postseason?
So that's when they got sacked 44. He got sacked 44 times back in 2022. And in
Okay.
2022-23, in that 44 sack year, the New York Giants had a total record of, I'm looking at it right now. Yes, they made it to the postseason. They beat Minnesota, lost to Philadelphia 38-7. So in his worst year of having somebody get to him, they got to
Okay,
the
then.
postseason. So they did get there. 44.
So I mean, I guess 22 sacks is on pace for 22 and 13 games is you figure on pace for about you got four more games, a little over 30
Yeah.
or right around 30. So it's he's a good player. I think he's better than people give him credit for. Obviously he looked good in the games he played for the Colts this year. And we'll see what happens. Like I feel confident enough to say he will be the Colts quarterback next year. Um, does that mean I would buy into him long term?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is because I don't know that I believe that myself. That being said, I will not be buying any Daniel Jones cards anytime soon. But I mean, if the market shows that it's worth it, maybe I will. But who's giving up draft compensation to go get him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know
Yeah.
because it's not like now. Granted, if he had a full healthy season and they made the playoffs and they made a deep run, they're bringing him back, no questions asked. Not getting he would get he would get franchise tag. But in a way, this almost works out better for him because he's going to get a long term deal out of this. So good for Daniel Jones. Obviously, you hate to see him get hurt, but good for him because I think this is going to work out in his favor. But somebody's going to have to overlook that Achilles injury because when you see players go down with Achilles injuries in the NFL, not a lot of them come back the same.
Yeah.
Right? It is not an easy injury to come back from.
Well, and
Just ask anybody that's ever had an Achilles injury.
the Achilles has now become the injury that is kind of in focus right now. Is not the ACL so much as it is the Achilles, and we look at that with Steve Angeli, the quarterback of the Syracuse Orange, who's working to come back and try to be ready after a torn Achilles himself in the fourth game of this past college football season. So hopefully the health is there for Daniel Jones as well as Steve Angeli and company. Speaking of health, I do want to make note of this. And before we go to our first break of the day inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we speak of health, there's a lot to be said about it. And there's a lot to be said about mental health. The NFL lost a player recently here that is way too young. And that's wide receiver Rondale Moore. So the question that we sit with here today is, what are we doing? Now, men in America, maybe all over the world, typically, growing up, you're asked to bottle it up, keep it to yourself, don't talk about it. I remember growing up and being told, don't be a girl, don't be a woman, don't be weak, and then some other names I can't say on a show. So they downplayed females, they downplayed it was essentially emotions were connected with females, with some men that spoke with me, and then it was a derogatory part of a female. And so the emasculation of a man for having feelings, for having emotions, for sharing them, for speaking about them, for, crying or being open. And I grew up that way. I grew up with men are supposed to be closed off. You're a weirdo who's not. You're a weirdo who's acting like a female and not a male because you can cry, because you do show your emotion, because you are an open human being. You wear your heart on your sleeve sometimes. And so I go through that and I look back on that and I look back on the bullying that comes from that, the negativity that comes from that. And now we live in a world where people want to talk about mental health and they want to talk about men being open and honest. And there's a mental health month for men and yada, yada, yada. The reality of it all is the strongest people, and I'm not saying this because I'm one of these people, I'm saying this because of the people that I know. The strongest people on this planet are the ones who can show you. Because we all go through stuff. And it gets hard sometimes. But if you can love in this world when you've been hated, spit at, frowned upon, thrown out, cast aside, if you can still love through that, you're a strong person. And having had a friend leave this world too early on their own choice, I can tell you that there is nothing on this planet, inside or outside of your mind, heart, body, or soul, that should ever suffocate you, make you feel like you're in quicksand, and make you give up. Rondale Moore is a young receiver in the NFL. He's a guy that could have played for another 7 years. Now, this is where people are going to disagree with me, and I'm okay with it. It doesn't matter how many times he catches the ball. It doesn't matter his numbers. Because he's better than 99.9% of people that had any opinion of him. And being in this sports world, yes, there's criticism that comes. People criticize me, they criticize Brendan, they criticize the coaches, they criticize the players, the officials, the GMs, the presidents of teams, the commissioners, and so on and so forth. And we sit on this show and we talk about stuff, but it's always on my mind that the way that I speak about anything has to be constructive. The criticism has to be respectful. Their mom has to be able to watch it. And when I toe that line or cross that line, I pull myself back and say, you got to be better. I don't know what was in Rondale Moore's head. None of us do. But to not have him here this morning calls to us to not have a month or a mental health day or something stupid to put on a calendar. It's about an everyday mission of telling men, women, children that every single one of us matters. Social media was not created to hate, but it's used for that sometimes. The fact that our technology allows us to be in everybody's business at all times does not give you the right to disrespect people and put them down. We have all been or will be or are right now being, which I hope we're not, but it happens. Sometime in your life, you will be attacked for the person you've chosen to be. And there should never be a day, night, or in between where somebody gives up on themselves because of what somebody else said or what they think or because we just don't feel good enough. Shame on this world for playing God. Shame on this world for acting like their opinion matters. And for all the smut and the dirt and the nasty and the grime that I see come from so-called fans, it's not an easy world for a Rondale Moore. It's not an easy world for a Tua. It's not an easy world for any of these guys out here. Sam Darnold, God only knows what that man's heard en route to being an NFL title guy now. We need to really start thinking about what we say and what we do. Don't be proud of yourself when you hurt somebody. Don't be proud of yourself when you get through. Don't be proud when you reach out to a stranger on social media and they decide to engage you and have a conversation with you. If you exist to pain other people, I pray that you start praying, you start getting God in your life, you start healing the brokenness inside of you. Because, again, I don't know why Rondale Moore is not here from what was in his mind or on his heart. But there's no reason why he shouldn't be. And when we talk about mental health and how it's finally important for men, I mean, in today's America, men are crapped on more than most. And this is what I will tell you. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're a kid. I don't care if you're a tree. I don't care if you're an animal. Everything created by God has value. And we don't get to disrespect each other and get away with it. Not at the end of your life. Maybe right now. And all I have to say this morning, as we mourn the death of someone that should be here, is that I don't want to have anybody in this world wanting to give up. And it is so easy in this world to want to give up now because there's so many shitty things being said between people. And I have to say shitty because there's not a better word for it. This is a family show. That's a real word because it's the real deal. We need to start being kinder. We need to start talking to people the way we want to be spoken to. And if you're broken enough to want to hurt somebody, go get fixed. Don't put that brokenness on somebody else. Just because you walk on shards of glass every day doesn't mean you get to throw those shards on other people's feet. I pray for everyone that is being hurt and everyone that's hurting somebody. Because if you pray for the victim but not the perpetrator, the world will never change. But it just speaks to a greater thing this morning that Rondale's not here. It speaks to a greater thing that Jay Hammeren's not here. And that greater thing is life is hard. People's poor decision making and words make it harder. And yes, you got to be strong in this world. And you got to be able to take things in this world because we're all going to get attacked at some time. We're all going to have our strength challenged mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, economically. We will all be challenged. All of us. I don't care who you are. My prayer is that we respond to that challenge with love and with a belief that the only opinion that matters of ourselves is us and the fact that God loves us. But it's a long road to get there. And to the people that struggle on that road, me being one of them that struggled before, I pray and I ask that you find peace no matter what anybody does, because we can't control anything but ourselves. And I really pray that this world starts getting better and nicer and kinder to each other because, man, we're all fighting battles nobody knows about. Why would somebody pour onto that? So there's two things I want this morning. I want us to grow and be stronger, which takes time and dedication and consistency. And I want people to stop being so shitty to each other because there's no purpose for it. There's no reason for it. And to be honest with you, at 40 years old, I don't care about it anymore. If you're a shitty person, I will pray for you and I will walk away from you. I have nothing to say to you. I have no desire to be around you. I've had men old enough to be my father come up to me when I'm doing my job and they're like, hey, we love making fun of you. We love talking about you. Man, we get drunk and we just shit on Dan Tortora. And I love it. And then the guy walks away. And I don't even know his name. If you're that type of human, I don't know what happened in your past. But God be with you. And be happy you crossed my path and didn't get knocked the hell out. Because I'm not that kind of guy. But somebody else, they would have knocked you the hell out. And I just feel like we speak to each other in a way in this world right now, which is just sick. It's like we think we can get away with anything. Like we can't die, like it's a video game. And if something happens, we'll just regenerate. That's not how life works. So I pick my spots and I'll tell people stuff. You know, I mean, I remember I had a guy say to me a few months ago, he talked my ear off this entire game. And I was like, oh, okay, this guy ignores me 90% of the time he sees me in Syracuse, but now that we're in Atlanta, he wants to talk. And I engaged him. My brain was like, don't trust him, don't talk about anything important, but be a nice person. I know the people to have the bland conversations with. I'm not stupid. And so I had a bland conversation, and then we went downstairs, and the post conference ended. And he introduced me to a total stranger. Hey, I want to introduce you to da da da. This is Dan Tortora. He's a guy from Syracuse. Man, he's never made it out of Syracuse. He really, he's never made it big. He's never made it national. Ironic because I was covering a national game at the time he said it. But he's never made it out of Syracuse. I really wish he would. Isn't that sad, Dan? Don't you think it's sad that no one really pays attention to you outside of Syracuse? And I stood in that room and I thought to myself, this man really has no self-esteem, and he's trying very hard to make himself feel important. And I paused. And then I said, God knows me. I know me. I could give a blank whoever else knows me. And he stared at me, and his friend stared at me, and then I walked out because I picked my spots. But here's the thing. Those conversations, when somebody tries to make another person feel worthless, sometimes those people end up doing something. I have a friend who's in heaven now, by the grace of God, I pray, who was 17 years old, who took his life because somebody didn't think he was worth it, didn't think he had value. So he ended his life because that one person didn't care about him. And having a conversation, spirit to spirit, with him one day that I can only describe as something that was other. I mean, it was God. It was a God moment. Being able to talk to him when he wasn't talking. And I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, "She doesn't love me." I said, "Who cares?" He said, "Yeah, but you don't get it." I said, "I do get it. I've been there. Who cares? She ain't worth it." And I had to hold his hand and see him walk into the light. And I held his hand the day that I looked at him and said, "I know you're not coming back." Let's stop making people run toward the light a hell of a lot faster, folks. We have to get better. Or there's going to be a lot of us on a highway to hell and a few of us on a stairway to heaven. And I don't want that. Hell don't need any more screaming souls. Trust me. I know I said a lot in that moment, Murph, but I want to open it to you because I think Rondale, Jay Hamrin, my buddy I just talked about, I think all of that speaks to a world that has lost its way and doesn't understand how hurtful we've become to each other and how comfortable we've become doing it.
Yeah, and people in this world are just scummy, man. Um, if you need to make fun of somebody to feel good about yourself, you got a problem. And the problem's not the person you're making fun of. The problem is you. Um, you know, I don't even worry about these things because I could not give two craps about what anybody else says. I do my thing and that's that. In a way that kind of comes back to bite me because I also care about the people around me. Um, almost to a fault, like too much, where I worried more about them than I worry about myself. Um, but for me, I take the whole idea of like, be a man, get over it. Like, I'm not an emotional guy. I don't really ever get emotional about anything. And, not everybody, some people are, some people aren't. It's not a bad thing either way if you are or you aren't. Um, for me, I kind of just, I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I've always been like I said, a guy that doesn't really get emotional. I don't really let things, I don't, I don't care what people say, what anybody else says. I just kind of go out, I do my thing, and, you know, that's that. You know, the hardest thing for, obviously you have a guy like Rondale Moore who, um, you know, was taken from us way too young. Um, I do think there needs to be more done for mental health because, men are, you know, especially men and not just in the country, in the world. If you look at unaliving rates around the world, it's like 85% men or 90% men. There is truly something to be said about, you know, asking for help, getting help. It's nothing to be afraid of. Like if you need help, ask somebody, right? We all like I got friends in my corner that, would never let anything bad happen to me. You have friends in your corner who would never let anything bad happen to you. We're there for each other. It's, lean on your family, lean on your friends. If you don't have any, go find some and ask for help. That's always been, my thoughts on it. And to me too, it's like anything bad that can happen in this world, I've never fully been able to understand how it could make somebody want to end it all.
Yeah.
And, you'll never understand their headspace because, obviously most of the time people that do it leave notes, but it's not like you're now there are people that survive and will talk about what happened and what drove them to that. But I still don't think any of us will understand where they are.
Yeah.
The only ones that will are the people that have done it and survived. Like you got people that jump off bridges and survive. They're paralyzed, they had mangled, but somehow, made it out alive.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, those are the people that can speak to those experiences. Most of the time, those people regret what they do. You hear the stories about somebody that jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge and, you know, they regretted their decision as their foot left the ground.
Yeah.
And for them, they're lucky to have survived because they got a second chance. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
So, realistically, I always, it's hard to understand what those people are going through. And, my advice to them is, as simple as this: lean on your family, lean on your friends.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any, go find some. There are always people in this world that are willing to help. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to you could be homeless. You could be, living in another country, in another, part of the world. There's always going to be somebody that'll be willing to help. You just have to find them.
Yeah, and I think, listen, there's stories. I was watching a story last night, and this guy was like, he said, I saw my buddy, he was on Facebook, and he said, what I want for dinner tonight, hashtag tacos. And he was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do something for my buddy. So, he called up one of the delivery places or went to one of the delivery places and, you can track the meal and whatever, got dinner for two and sent it to the guy's house. And, the guy and his wife were eating the tacos and called him up and he's on screen and he's talking with his buddy and he's crying. And he's like, "Why are you crying, man? It's like it's a couple tacos. It's not a big deal." He goes, "You don't understand. My wife and I just had to close our business. We don't know how we're going to pay our bills for the next 6 months. Like what you did for us tonight by doing this thing for us with us not knowing what's going to happen with us, with our family, how we're going to afford anything. That meant the world to us." And yesterday, and I keep having this theme in my life where God keeps going, my plan's better than yours, Dan. And he's saying it very like he's said it my whole life, but I'm finally like letting go of the reins to him. And he's like, my plan is better than yours. So yesterday I go to Wegmans and I had a bunch of bottles and cans to return. I had just over time let them sit in the winter in my garage, and I was like, all right, I'm going to return them. And then I put them in my little rainy day fund. I take the bottle and cans, whatever money I get from it, I put it in a rainy day fund. And so I'm getting the bottles and cans out. I can't get most of them in the cart because the bags were big. So I'm dropping this one, pick it up. I get into the place. There's a lady in there with just huge bags of water bottles. And I'm like, she's going to be here for over half an hour. The guy that was walking in the parking lot with me, he ends up going in there. He has boxes full of stuff. He got in before I got in, and the other machine's not working. So I stood there for a few minutes, and I had to be somewhere. And I didn't want to be late. So I turned around and said, I can't wait. And I was a little bit frustrated. Man, I finally came out to do it. Now I can't do it. And not only am I not going to get the bottles and cans returned, but I'm also going to be late. So I could have just not done it, been on time, been on time. But now I'm going to be late. Plus, I didn't get to do it. I go back. One of the bottles flies out of, the bag. And I'm like, I'm not going to chase it down in the parking lot, even though I wanted to, because I don't like littering anything. So it like went towards somebody's car. And then I get to the car and I'm trying to put the stuff in the car and my trunk won't open. And so then I have to lock the car, and I'm getting frustrated at little stupid things. And then one of the bags drops and a bunch of the cans fall out of it. So I push them back in and I'm like, now I'm going to be late and I'm frustrated and I don't want these stupid cans in my car. Keep in mind everything I just said. So then I drive, and I'm going to dinner. I got a date. I'm excited to see her. I'm a second away from her house. I'm like literally turn and I'm there. And I see these people walk by on the side of the street, and they got a big garbage bag. And I see them I think they put a can in there. And I turned down and I'm going toward her street. And then I stopped my car. I spun back around. I went back on the main road. I put my window down. I said, excuse me. And they looked at me. I said, are you guys looking for bottles and cans? Like, do you need some? And the guy looks at me and he goes, yeah, that'd be great. I said, hold on a second. I have some for you. I got out of the car. I opened up my trunk. I took the two biggest bags that I had that were sealed, my two huge garbage bags. There's probably, I don't know, 10, 12 bucks worth of stuff in there. I took it out and I handed him a bag, and he said, wow, because he didn't expect it to be that many bottles and cans. He said, thank you. I said, I got another one. He said, oh. And I think his wife, she's there, girlfriend, she's there, she's looking, and I give them the bags, and they turn around and I hear her say to him, well, now we have to go home because you can't walk around like carrying all this stuff. And I thought to myself, here I am late. Here I am rushing. Here I am frustrated. When God the whole time was like, I need you to leave the house late. I need you to go to Wegmans. I need that to not work for you. I need you to turn around. I need you to put them back in the car because you're going to drive by somebody that needs those cans a hell of a lot more than you do. So all I can tell you folks is there's always somebody that needs you to just be nice. So do it. If you can, which you can. We all can. That example in and of itself was like, I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed at myself. Why did I leave the house late? Why are these people here? Why is there something in my way? There was nothing in my way. God was like, has to happen so that you can go to this family. You don't know their names. You don't know their situation. But if they're on the side of the road looking for a bottle or a can that somebody threw out of their car while driving, they obviously need this a hell of a lot more than you do. And I would just say, be open to the world giving you those moments, and be open to giving those moments to the world. Because God needs you to work for Him, toward Him, not away. And I'm not saying that I'm anybody for doing that. I'm saying that God was like, hey, I need to inconvenience you so you can convenience somebody else. And I just want to see us all pay it forward because the world needs it.
You're 100% right, man.
We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. Speaking of the World Baseball Classic that had games for almost a complete 24 hours this past Friday from 5 a.m. to ending around 1 a.m. We'll talk about the World Baseball Classic right after this fast break here on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
You know, Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food in our pizza pub. You know, that was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit outlet space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in. And then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us where sports truly meets that thing called life. And a big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Get yourself out to Chick-fil-A. You can't miss Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. They have a double drive-through and a massive brick building. And so make sure you get out there to dine in as well as to go through the drive-through or order on the app. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt is waiting for you with the original, the spicy, as well as the grilled chicken sandwiches and all those sides that you love, including that awesome mac and cheese and so much more. So get yourself out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard with Megan Sorber and her team. We're looking forward to seeing you out there, and we thank you for your support of the Chick-fil-A on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie right here in our community of Central and Upstate New York. Back here inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios with Murph. I want to show this video of Murph here wearing Team USA, and what does that hat say? I love card girls. I love the hat.
Whoa.
Does it say card
Read it
girls?
again.
Wait, what does it say? I love cart girls. Oh, I read it quick.
Please tell me you understand that.
I love cart girls. I love cart girls.
Think about what I do for a living.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I get it. So I read it really quick. I'm like, oh, okay, the show. I love card girls, but
It was the best hat in the show.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I love cart girls, says Murph.
But
and there's
look at the
Murph.
video. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole video?
No.
And I got something for you. Hang on, it's right over to my right.
Murph rocking Team USA during the World Baseball Classic, which I approve of. I just thought that was because wardrobe for me is very important here on the show, and what I wear and why I wear it and the meaning behind what I'm doing. So I just thought it was cool that Murph was doing something that I'm sure had meaning, of course, with Team USA. But yeah, what do you got for us?
So the point of that video was this.
Okay, I'm going to brighten it up. Hold on. I want to see it. Did I brighten it or did I? I might have dimmed it. Let's see. Okay.
A 2019
There we go.
flawless number 5 Shohei Ohtani on card auto.
How ridiculously expensive was that? Like
my wallet hurts.
5,000? How much was that?
A little bit less.
Because I'm saying
I paid a little bit less than that.
Okay.
My wallet hurts.
4,500. So a little bit more than Skeens, which
My
was like
my
45.
wallet hurts for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea what it's actually worth. It's just going to be a matter of it's going to be subjective. Um, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
Yeah.
I did also buy and sell a very expensive Kobe Bryant auto this weekend.
Okay.
So what I sold that Kobe auto for was a little bit less than what I bought this one for.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
Holy-
like I said, there was a reason. And if you guys didn't see any of the stuff I put on my card Instagram, I was posting videos all weekend from the Philly show. I had videos from all 3 days. We did tons and tons of deals. I bought those Meta glasses and recorded some of the deals that I made just to try to start posting content just to see where it went. And it's been a lot of fun. And I had to make a little bit of a dramatic video uh, for Shohei. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, that is, if I was there, because that's my personality, and if Murph's like, I gotta walk away, I gotta go do something, I'd be like, where you going, Murph? And then he would go, and then if he came back with that, I'd be like, what? And of course I'd want it, and then I'd say,
You want to know something crazy? It walked up to the table.
well, that's crazy. And so, but you getting it, I would have sat back in the chair. I know me. I would have leaned back in the chair and I would have been like, Murph, how much? And he'd tell me and I'd be like, oh my God. I would have fallen back and been like, what? How? Like, what is that? Checking in a savings and I got a checking and I got to move it to the saving. That's a lot of money. And I would have been like, holy shit, Murph. And, I would have been like, you did? Yeah, I did. And I'd be like, for real? Yeah, you brought that in? I'd be like, okay. And then you'd be like, what did you do? And I'm like, some guy came up to me with an $800 card. I had to think about it 5 times. But, I mean.
I very much was thinking about this one. The Kobe auto was easier because I had a pretty good idea what that one was probably worth.
Yeah.
That was more difficult.
I did. I would have laid back.
I had no idea. His market is literally up 20% in the last 30 days.
I have so many Kobe things, and I went into GG Cards. I've raw.
Here, I'll show you the Kobe auto I bought.
Yeah, but I went into GG Cards and Breaks, and they have all these cards that I have, and it was like the one of him smiling from Upper Deck with his sunglasses on is $70 raw, and I'm like, I know I have that card.
That was the Kobe. The auto's like right there. You can't really see it. Even if you turn the brightness up, you're not gonna be able to see it.
Yeah.
It was a patch auto. It was beautiful. So
How much was Kobe?
I 3,400 I paid for it.
And then you
I sold it for 4,000. I wasn't necessarily expecting to sell it. I had 2 people ask about it in half an hour, and one was we were going to do a trade deal. It was a vendor, and he wanted to think about it a little bit. So, and then the other guy came in and offered me cash. So I'm like, well, I did genuinely feel bad for the dealer that walked away from it, but I told him like it's possible it's not here.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're walking away, that's there's no commitment to buy it. The guy that offered me 4,000 cash, I wasn't going to say no. That video is also up on my Instagram.
Yeah.
That whole transaction as well.
Well, I mean, and I've seen that. I've seen the evolution of you at the shows and like what you do and how you do it and how you've like created this, broadcast media value of what you're doing and you're making it into kind of a day in the life or a weekend in the life of what you're doing. And so I've seen you evolve as a creator of content, which I think is really cool and heartwarming for me because I'm sure you're loving it and enjoying it, but it seems like you are.
Yeah.
So like that to me
Yeah.
is the other purpose of it. But I would.
Because you know what it is too?
Crazy.
The beauty of it is I can do all the editing, right? And granted, there's not a whole lot to edit.
Right.
It's a couple of videos, and now granted, eventually I want to have like a camera that's recording the deal.
Yeah.
Plus, microphones on myself, possibly on the person that's coming up and doing a deal. So to actually make it better.
Yeah.
Because the video I recorded, where I talked about getting this, I didn't have a mic on. I didn't have any of that. Right? I didn't bring that stuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to invest in this stuff now.
Like, you're gonna
because you know what it is?
The mini mic stuff that attaches to the phone, or what are you thinking?
No, I'd probably get like a wireless lav that I can connect to something.
Yeah.
Or one of those the box mics that you can put on like a lapel.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm gonna start doing it more often. Now, granted, I'm not exactly doing a whole lot of shows right now after Philly, but even like just doing it in Old Bridge, I think it'd be awesome. Because I'd have the ability to, record those interactions and build new relationships with people. I mean, I picked up probably 50 or 60 new Instagram followers this week. For an account that's got less than 1,000, that's kind of a lot. And even TikTok is starting to grow a little bit too. So it's one of those things where like I'm starting to build relationships with people, finding new people to buy and sell, buy, sell, and trade with.
Yeah.
And it's a great time. And obviously I pride myself on being transparent and being honest and whatnot. You walk around that show and you see people with cars that are priced 150% of comps and won't budge off of that at all.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I am not one of those guys. I'm a guy who will, granted, yes, I'm trying to buy at 80% of what a car's worth, but I'm not going and selling it at 120. I'm selling it at 90.
Yeah.
Some things, maybe lower end stuff, I might get 100%. But for the most part, like I'm buying cheap, selling cheap. Right? So that this way the people I sell to can still make money on a card.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that this is what I tell people when I'm at like the trade nights or whatever. I say, yes, if I want a card and I want it for my collection, like to bring it home.
You can pay more for it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm smart about it.
Like this thing.
But it's like if I want to bring a card home, right?
Like
I want to be smart.
That's Lindor, number to 10.
Right. And I want to be like, this is how I look at it. Do right by me. Like, I'm going to do right by you. Okay. But if you do wrong by me, I'm out. Like, there was this one guy, he had a bunch of old stuff, and the way that he was with me, I was like, if I see him in the corner of the show, I'm not going over there because I don't want to deal with him. And there was another guy where it was like, these are way overpriced. Like, do I want a Young Hui Koo autograph? Yeah, I thought it'd be cool to have it in the studio, but not for $110. I was like, that's not his market. His market might be 20, 30 if it's a rare card, but that's his market. So when you say 1 and I say 30 and then you say 110, how'd you go up? Like, so, I mean, it's, I always look at it like treat people the way you want to be treated in any walk of life. So yes, I want to make money and yes, I want to save money, but am I looking out for you too? So if you come to me, I can't be dishonest because my conscience will eat away at me and I will chase you down and be like, hey, I need to do this. But I will say about the people that I've interacted with at GG Cards and Breaks trade nights, there was this one guy, the last trade night I went to, and I can't go to this one this Thursday because I will be in Charlotte, but I pray that you all go out to the one at the Wildcat this Thursday, March 12th from 6 to 9:30 p.m., pardon me, Eastern time at 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus. the last time I went out, there's this guy that I see like every single show. And he's super nice and he follows my show and supports my show. And total stranger that came up, supports my show, comes to my booth, always checks out my cards, and I appreciate it so much. And he like came up to me and was like, "Do you have any value in this?" And like I looked it up and he was like, "Oh, do you have interest in it?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And then I bought it from him and I was like, I kind of want to pay like 15, but I think I paid like 20. And it's a really nice card. And if this guy does well collegiately, it's only going to shoot up. And it's numbered and it's a special refractor and it could be gradable. So there's a lot of reasons why I was interested in the card. And it's a quarterback. And so I, gave him the 20, whatever. And he was like, give me 15. So he took a 5 out. He walks away. He goes, I spent some time. I looked it up and I thought about it. And he's like, you know what? Here's another 5 back. I only want 10. I don't want to be dishonest. I don't want to be unfair to you. I was looking up something and I don't really think it's worth that high. I think it's probably like here. So why don't you just take this? So twice, not once, twice, he was like, take a 5 back, take a 5 back. I feel better about that. And to know that there's somebody in this business that is that way when that's my way. Yes, I want to sell my stuff. Yes, I want to move it. And yeah, I might want to move something a little bit higher because I moved something else a little bit lower. But at the end of the day, if I remember one little kid bought something from me for like $10. And I was thinking to myself, that's a $10 card. That it should be $10. But then I'm like, it's a little kid. Do I really want to charge him what I would charge an adult? And I'm like, well, the card's the card. And then before he walked away, I was like, hey, I was like, take this too. Thanks for giving me the $10, but now take something else. It's just, you got to let your conscience be your guide. And sometimes I give something away for free. Sometimes, I'll take something off of this. When I'm talking with Alex from GG Cards and Breaks, he talked me down $5 lower than what I wanted. So the next time he bought something from me, I said, I want that plus my $5 back. And we laugh and he gives it to me and we even out. But, you do right by people. Eventually that comes back. And you might think it doesn't, but it does eventually. And I deal with people every GG Cards and Breaks trade night that I will do business with for the rest of my life if they continue to be who they're being, because I just love working with them. And it's because they really genuinely care about each other. And there's a really good card community with GG Cards and Breaks in Central and Upstate New York. So yeah, I mean, Murph and I have been to shows where you walk at a booth and I see 5 things I like, but I'm not paying you $800 for that card. I might pay you 4, but I'm not paying you 8. And I'm also not disrespectful. If I walk up and it's a card that is 8, I'm going, okay, do I want to spend the money or don't I? But if it's overpriced, it's not about me wanting to spend the money. It's about, let's be fair, let's be real. And I tell people all the time, that price might be too low, that price might be too high. Let's be honest with each other. Somebody's interested in something, I look it up. I'm interested in something, I look it up, they look it up. And if you do right by me, I'll do right by you right back, because I'm always going to do right by you. But if you do me dirty, then, I'm kind of away from that. I don't deal with people that work in the dirty.
Yeah, I know. And it's one of those things where, if you're gonna, just treat people the way you want to be treated. You need to make sure that everybody's taken care of, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and try to sell a card that's, worth $100 for 300, right? Like, granted, if it hasn't sold in 3 years and the only sale is $100 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and that player's market is up quite a bit, then yeah, maybe you stick her to $300 and see what happens, because you don't know what it's worth at that point. There's no way of knowing, it hasn't sold. So at that point, you kind of have to guesstimate. But if there's numbers on cards, it's easy. It shouldn't be difficult. And if somebody wants more for their card than it's worth, then you walk away. It's kind of as simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny when, there's that, somebody's kind of like, well, if I walk away, how are you going to sell it? I'm like, well, I'd rather hold on to it than sell it for, far lower than what it's worth. But you got to work with good people and you got to be around good people. I got a box to open too. But let's get into this World Baseball Classic. I want to jump into this here because we got a couple things we got to hit: World Baseball and the NCAA tournament world here with Murph on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Thank you for being with us. Great Lakes Honda City 36A, or pardon me, I'm thinking about GG Cards Breaks Trade Night. The Great Lakes Honda City, you can get to them on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, open for sales and service. Get your tail over there, but not before you go to GreatLakesHondaCity.com and you check out their inventory. There's games happening all throughout the next 3 days, folks. We're going to see many a country in action starting today at noon Eastern time on FS2. We will see Colombia at Panama. We'll see the Dominican Republic at Israel. By the way, Israel has already qualified themselves for 2030's World Baseball Classic with a victory that they just had recently. Brazil will be at Great Britain, Venezuela at Nicaragua, Cuba at Puerto Rico, Mexico at the United States will be tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. The United States will put me in a place where I will be comfortably uncomfortable Tuesday, March 10th, when Italy and the United States face off at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1 in Dallas. So I've been to Dallas, or pardon me, in the Dallas Park in Houston, Texas. I've been to Houston. I'm obviously a native of the United States of America, and my family's heritage, part of it, is in Italy. So that is going to be an interesting game for me, but I'm looking forward to it. A lot of great stuff coming up, Murph, and a lot of things that have happened over the weekend here. Just games yesterday alone on Sunday, March 8th. Japan beat Australia 4-3. Cuba beat Colombia 7-4. The Dominican Republic beat the Netherlands 12-1. Italy beat Great Britain. What a do, boo. 7-4. And Canada lost to Panama 4-3 in a close contest. Israel beat Nicaragua. That was a big game that Ross sent me. Shout out to Ross Turetsky, 5-0. And Mexico just put the spank on when it came to Brazil, saying who you is, beating them 16-0 in yesterday's matchup. So what have you taken away from the Classic, Murph?
Well, I mean, a 17-year-old did shatter Aaron Judge's bat and make him ground into a double play. So, I think that kid was from Brazil. So good for him, man. High school kid, throwing mid-90s, shattering Aaron Judge's bat with a sinker. So, really good arm side run for that kid. So that's pretty bad. You know, it's one of those things where, Team USA is doing what they do. They definitely got us a little bit nervous with Great Britain. Um, but it's also you look at what Japan's doing. They mercy ruled. I think they mercy ruled. In their first game. You had the Dominican Republic mercy rule. I think it was Panama. You had some great games so far. I mean, once you get out of pool play and into the quarterfinals, that's when we're really going to start to see the stars shining. And that was one of the reasons I bought this card. If Japan wins again and Otani does what Otani does, his market just continues to go up, man. It's you know, it, it's awesome. I mean, the WBC is just fun, and you got Kyle Schwarber doing Kyle Schwarber things, and I actually picked up a really cool from Panini Collegiate Kyle Schwarber auto in a Team USA jersey. Yes, at the show this weekend. So I bought that one just because of WBC.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Kyle Schwarber hits another big home run, like this card in general will shoot up just because it's Team USA, which is going to be pretty cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing. Mexico is going to be a tough test. Mexico beat us, I think, in the last three WBCs. So we got Paul Skeens on the mound. Hopefully he can be the old what do they call it? Oh shoot. St- um, Pitching, you lost the first two of the series, and you're trying to stop them from winning, from a sweep. I forget what they call that. That's going to drive me nuts all day. Um, but hopefully get a win over Mexico and guarantee a spot in the quarterfinals,
Yeah.
and then just go do our thing. I mean, I'm very confident that it's going to be Team USA and Team Japan in the championship game. It's just going to be a matter of how we get there. But I'm very much looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, there, like the World Cup, there is pool play. It's happening right now. Pools A, B, C, and D. The games in Pool A: Cuba defeated Panama 3-1. Puerto Rico defeated Colombia 8-0. Canada defeated Colombia 8-2. Puerto Rico defeated Panama 4-3. Cuba defeated Colombia 7-4. And Panama defeated Canada 4-3. The upcoming games: Colombia, Panama, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Canada, Puerto Rico, and Canada, Cuba is what Pool A looks like. Pool B: Mexico took down Great Britain 8-2. The United States defeated Brazil 15-5. Then we have Italy defeating Brazil 8-0. The United States defeating Great Britain 9-1. Italy defeating Great Britain 7-4. Mexico defeating Brazil 16-0. The upcoming games for Pool B: Brazil, Great Britain, Mexico, U.S., Italy, U.S., and Italy, Mexico, all coming up here. In Pool C, we have Australia defeated Chinese Taipei 3-0, and then Korea defeated Czechia 11-4. Australia defeated Czechia 5-1. Japan defeated Chinese Taipei in a mercy rule 13-0 in 7 innings. Chinese Taipei defeated Czechia 14-0 in 7 innings. Japan defeated Korea 8-6. Chinese Taipei defeated Korea 5-4 in an extra inning game in 10 innings. And then Japan defeated Australia 4-3, as well as Korea defeating Australia 7-2. So in Pool C, that started early, it was like Chinese Taipei and Japan wanted to play a billion games in the beginning. They wanted to get it all done. So with other pools having plenty of games left, there's only one game left for Pool C, and that is Czechia and Japan, which is Tuesday, March 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, or 7 p.m. Japan time, pardon me, on FS1. And then Pool D, we have Venezuela defeated the Netherlands 6-2. Dominican Republic defeated Nicaragua 12-3. The Netherlands defeated Nicaragua 4-3. And then we had Venezuela defeating Israel 11-3. Dominican Republic defeating the Netherlands 12-1 in 7 innings. And then Israel defeating Nicaragua 5-0. There's a bunch of games left in Pool D. We have Dominican Republic, Israel today. We also have Venezuela, Nicaragua. And then tomorrow on March 10th, we have Israel, Netherlands. And on March 11th, the Dominican Republic and Venezuela. So that's how the pool schedule looks. The top 2 teams from each will advance to the quarterfinals, and then we'll get to see the pools bleed into each other in an ocean of the World Baseball Classic that can only have one champion country. Murph, let's get into the NCAA tournament really quick before we hop out of here, and that being the fact that some teams have already punched their tickets. Some conference championships are done. Some people are going, Dan, the ACC and the American didn't even start yet. I know, huh? But the other ones have started. The automatic bids. Who's clinched a spot? There's 32 conferences, which means there's 32 Division I men's basketball automatic bids, and there are 36 at-large bids, because 32 plus 36 is what, folks? 68. And that's how many teams get into the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament. So the A-Sun has a champion as of yesterday. I watched the game that went into overtime between Central Arkansas and Queens of North Carolina. The awesome thing about Queens, they're from Charlotte, the Queen City. I'm going to Charlotte tomorrow, and I get to celebrate Queens, who is only in their 4th year from Division II to Division I. So they were a Division II school, became a Division I institution, went to the A-Sun, and now they're going to the NCAA tournament. Fantastic
Good for them.
Story for Queens. Probably the best story, one of the best stories, and I really hope that they get like a 4-13 matchup or something like that, and that at 3-14, and that they win it. The Big South, High Point is moving out of the Big South, a conference that I've covered over the years. The Missouri Valley Conference has Northern Iowa, who has made some hay in the past. The Northeast Conference, the NEC, which they've rebranded to wanting to be called the NEC more than the Northeast, That's the conference that Lemoyne is in. Long Island University, the Sharks, who have awesome jerseys and a cool logo, they'll be moving on in that powder blue. The Ohio Valley Conference has Tennessee State with their coach stepping in and helping that program turn into something special. And the Summit League has North Dakota State, who is moving forward, which means that we await the winners of the America East, the ACC, the A10, Big 12, Big East, Big Sky, Big 10, Big West, CAA, Conference USA, Horizon, Ivy, MAAC, MAC, MEAC, the Mountain West, the Patriot League, the SEC, the SoCon, the Southland, the SWAC, the Sun Belt, the WAC, the West Coast Conference, the WCC, which this is the last year that we will see Gonzaga in the WCC. So a lot of stuff coming up, Murph.
Going to the Pac-12.
So your thoughts on this? I know you're not a big basketball guy, but this time
I mostly
of year
watch it once you get to March.
Right. But this entire week decides a lot of things with the field. So I'm very excited because I feel like I think there's going to be basketball on all throughout this week. And by the way, shout out to my friend who's been on the show and had her own segment on Wake Up Call called Reese's Pieces, Tammy Reese, who left being an assistant at Syracuse to become the head coach of the University of Rhode Island with the Rams. They just won their conference, and Tammy has an automatic bid with her team to the NCAA tournament, Division I women's basketball. So I just want to say to Miss Reese, God bless, no stress, do your best, congratulations, and I'm so very proud to know you, so very happy for you, and nobody deserves it more. So big time shout out to Tammy Reese, whose team punched their ticket yesterday.
That is awesome to hear. For me, obviously, I watch a lot of my team, the Gators. I watch a lot of my dad's team, St. John's Red Storm, and I still pay it. I watched Syracuse play when we were at the Dome. We know I had some things to say about that team and what they could have done better. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what happens with Miami of Ohio. 31-0 at the current moment, playing absolute hot garbage. You cannot tell me I am wrong. They have 0 quad 1 wins. I think it's 1 or 2 quad 2 wins. Maybe a dozen quad 3 wins, and the rest are all quad 4 wins. They've played hot garbage.
It's the way you said it. I got a tear. Murph, I have one tear. You made me cry a full tear. That was just, I forgot that it was coming, and then just hearing you go, they played absolutely hot garbage. That's getting clipped out. That's one of my favorite moments that I've ever. This is who they've played. Okay, this is who they played. They played Old Dominion. They played Trinity.
Garbage.
They played
Garbage.
Trinity Christian, who they beat 129-49. I don't even know.
Who do they think they are? The Yukon women?
I was gonna say I don't know if Trinity Christian is. I don't know if that's like a
It's
grammar
probably
school.
Division 3.
It feels like a
Probably
grammar
Division
school.
3.
And it's funny
Or high
because
school.
It's gotta be a division down because you can't. Normally, when you can't click on the logo on ESPN, it means they're Division 3-ish. So Air Force,
Something like that.
Mercyhurst, who used to be D1.
Mercyhurst is Division 2, I believe.
They're now Division 1 in the NEC.
Are they?
But yeah,
I think because they were a PSAC team, were they not?
They jumped last year. So yeah, so they're in transition.
I think they were a PSAC team, right?
They might have been. They're in transition. So they're currently in that hole, like they can't go to the NCAA tournament.
How'd Lemoyne do this year? Just out of curiosity.
Men's team did pretty good. So they held their own. I think they were in the top 3 of the NEC at one point. So
Because didn't they make it to the NEC championship game last year, and then obviously they couldn't go to the tournament because they.
A couple years ago, they made it. They were like in the Final Four, and they were a couple plays away of being like Merrimack, who made it all the way to the end and didn't get in the year that FDU went in their place as the second best team and ended up beating Purdue.
Yeah, literally.
So you wonder what Merrimack could do. By the way, Merrimack did that in the NEC, couldn't qualify, but still won the conference tournament. Then Merrimack left the NEC for the MAAC this year, and in their first year in the MAAC, they're the number 1 team going into the MAAC tournament. So just shout out to Merrimack for going D2 to D1, making a push, and then switching conferences, and already they're a team that continues to be relevant as they continue to elevate. Arkansas Pine Bluff was beaten by Miami of Ohio. UNC Greensboro, another school that doesn't even have their logo on here. Indiana University East, which implies there's a West. And then
What?
Maine, UNC Asheville, Eastern Kentucky, Wright State, Ball State, a school called Milligan that doesn't have a logo. Not on here, probably has a logo,
Sure.
but not here. Bowling Green, Akron, Western Michigan, Toledo, Central Michigan, Buffalo, Kent State, UMass, Northern Illinois, which is now a part of the MAC, Northern Illinois, Buffalo, Marshall, Ohio, UMass again, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and they will play UMass on Thursday, March 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to start off their postseason play. So I will agree with Murph that the Red Hawks have not been challenged, including playing two teams that don't even have logos on ESPN.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disagree with you that they have played a very weak schedule. Yes. I will say this though. When you play in a conference, it is hard to beat the coaches that know you. And I mean, in the NIL and transfer portal world and coaches changing teams like underwear and players doing the same thing, it's hard to say the same thing we used to say. But if coaches and players stay, it is hard to beat teams that you play year in and year out. And it's always hard to get through conference play because teams know you. And in smaller conferences like the MAC, you're going to see those teams twice instead of once. So there's a lot to be said about that. But yes, Miami has played what you refer to as
hot garbage
this entire season. I'm not going to.
That it, yeah. Obviously I got to keep this quick because I gotta hop off and go on to a work call here at 11. Miami of Ohio does deserve to be in the tournament
Yes.
if they go undefeated. If they lose, to me,
Yeah.
I don't care. They're out. You're not, in a conference like that, when you're playing that garbage of a schedule, listen, this is not like UCF. This is not like this is not like when Cincinnati did all that in the American. The American is still a decent conference.
By
right?
the way,
It's not like you're coming
back. Not to interrupt you, I just want to let you know when you said the American, Wichita State has not been back in years since Shaka Smart. And let me just say something, or not Shaka Smart. I'm thinking of somebody else. Shaka was at VCU, but Wichita State has not been back in a long time. When they joined the American, they were trending downward. They're the second best team in the men's side of things for basketball right now. So not to interrupt, just wanted to say Wichita State has found its way to the top of the American in the top two. And I want to give them their flowers because it's been a minute since the Shockers have been in a place to make the tournament.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And honestly, a conference like the MAC, let's be honest, that conference is terrible. There's not a single good program in that conference. To me, your only chance is to win the conference. They could have gone into the turn. They could go in, 26-5.
Yeah.
Go win the conference tournament. Yeah, you're going to be in. You're going to be a 13 seed or whatever you're going to be. It's no different. I don't care that you're 31-0. You lose one game, you're out. This is not the time to lose. They all know that the games that matter are the conference tournament. And if they don't win the conference tournament, they're not making the tournament. It's as simple as that. Right? I get it. Teams don't go undefeated in the regular season.
Yeah.
But we talk about strength of record. We talk about who they played. It's garbage. No quad 1 wins. Maybe 2 quad 2 wins. About 10 quad 3 wins and the rest quad 4. It's not like you're beating good teams. If they win the conference, they're going to get in. They're going to be an 11 seed and probably lose. If they win, good for them. But they'll probably end up losing. That's my guess.
Well, we'll see if they win it all in the MAC and become like a 13 seed. We'll see what that looks like. Do want to let y'all know really quick with Murph on the line. Florida, the Gators, they have lost to Arizona, Duke, and UConn. So if they were a number one seed in this thing, they're a number one seed that's lost to potentially all of the other number one seeds in the tournament. So that'll be an interesting case as well. Murph, as always, I appreciate your time. I look forward to talking with you soon. And we'll be in touch from Charlotte.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And I am looking forward to talking with you next week, my friend.
Sounds good, buddy. That comment from Murph once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, taking a look at the fact that the conference tournaments are upon us right now. And for Tuesday's broadcast of Wake Up Call, I'm going to be breaking down what conferences are going on, who's getting close, what's happening here as we look at it in the automatic bids and edging ever closer to where these conferences are. Because the thing is, the conference tournaments, nothing's happening at the exact same time. There's conferences that are wrapping up their championship week when others haven't even started yet. So I do want to let you all know, I'm looking at this right now. So like I said, we have Tennessee State, Long Island University, Northern Iowa, High Point, and Queens, as well as North Dakota State, that have all figured out who's going to be going from. So all of those teams, all of those automatic bids have already happened for the respective conferences. The Sun Belt will finish today on Monday, March 9th. The Southern, the SoCon, will finish today. The Horizon League will finish on Tuesday, March 10th. The CAA will finish on March 10th. The WCC, the conference known for Gonzaga and St. Mary's, will finish on March 10th. The MAAC will finish on March 10th. And then we have some other ones that will continue to go throughout the week to the midweek. And the latest to finish with their conference champion on Selection Sunday are going to be the Ivy League, the A10, the SEC, the American, and the Big Ten, that will all crown their champion on the day that we find out the field of 68 for the NCAA tournament. Let's take a step aside for a fast break. We'll wrap things up from Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Right after this, stay with us. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different, and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily? Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. we prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Find your way to GG Cards and Breaks all throughout the week on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Appreciate them so very much for all that they do to bring us closer to the teams that we love, the players that we love, as well as the sports and games that we just want to be around and want to celebrate and want to be a part of. I mean, listen, GG Cards and Breaks takes that kid spirit that we all have and ignites it, just brings it to the nth degree. And I can't say enough about Game Point Sports Complex and all that they do and all that GG Cards and Breaks does as well. I'm thinking about Game Point right now because we just put up a new video with Brandon Trish, but you think about that, right? Here's Trish in the community and doing everything that he's done and playing at Syracuse and then going and playing professionally and whatnot. And what gets us closer to that? You know, GG Cards and Breaks, when Kyle McCord and Aronde Gadsden's cards came out, they had them. Where did I get my first Steve Angeli card? At a GG Cards and Breaks trade night. So you never know what you're going to find at GG Cards and Breaks, but what you do know is you will have a great card community of people that care about each other and a team that works tirelessly to bring you really special and wonderful opportunities. I cannot say enough about GG Cards and Breaks. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. We'll see you there. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios with my guy Murphalation Station, and of course talking about the bigger things, more important things in life than getting into the sports world, World Baseball Classic, the NCAA, with what's going on with Conference Tournament and Championship Week, as well as the NFL. Up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. Thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond. And of course, we're on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big time shout out to our partners in Central Upstate New York. Make sure you go and visit the wonderful Great Lakes Honda City. Carvel DeWitt, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Pizza Man, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Brian's Landing, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Game Point Sports Complex, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich, the Cuse Mac Mother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich, cut it up, and have it with some syrup. We just did a new broadcast over the Cuse Mac Mother, hanging out with Alex Grigorito less than 100 days to the 2026 Men's FIFA World Cup. So make sure you check out that broadcast on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, on X, the former Twitter, @CallDT, and on Instagram @WakeUpCall_DT. Big time shout out to Myers Creek, with 2 locations, 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, as well as on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. Many thanks to Avicoli's, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Willow Rock, who is the newest member of our family, with our CNS broadcast happening every single month at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub on 6200 South Bay Road in Cicero, New York. And of course, many thanks to Pizza Man as well. And of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. We are here with the Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. During Bearcat Time, you will find the Bearcats with us where sports meets life. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. You can also go to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being a part of the show as always. And as this week progresses, by the grace of God and by his wings, I will be flying to the great state of North Carolina, where we have dug many roots for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. As you know, our exclusive studio partner of Superpowered Pop is Parker, Banner, Kent, and Wayne. PBKW for short is a place for your comic books of old and new, as well as your gaming needs. You can find it all on 21500 Catawba Ave, Suite A in Cornelius, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. I will be there this week. I will be broadcasting Superpowered Pop on location, so I look forward to you tuning in at Superpowered Pop on Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as going to our YouTube channel at Superpowered Pop, which has a bunch of stuff from Universal that I just put up over these last few weeks. So shout out to Matt Milburn and the team at PBKW for your comic book and gaming needs in Cornelius, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. Once again, 21500 Catawba Ave, Suite A in Cornelius, North Carolina. So I'll be down there with them. I'll be, of course, in the Queen City, which I love. I'll be in the home city of my favorite MLS team, Charlotte FC. And, of course, I will be at the Spectrum Center with the ACC men's basketball tournament going on. And while I'm on site on location for that, I will be connected with the entire scope of college basketball and what's going on in the championship week. So make sure this entire week you are staying tuned. We're going to break down championship week and what's going on in tomorrow's broadcast of Wake Up Call starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, we'll bring you the ingredients to success from the wonderful Avicoli's restaurant, which is open 7 days a week on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. And I'll be bringing you my all-new special with the Binghamton Bearcats and a new special of Who's Got Next, my exclusive series with Game Point Sports Complex is airing now with Brandon Trish rejoining me to talk about helping the community, what he's doing to pay it forward, and we may have played some half-court knockout and you don't want to miss that, which is at the end of the broadcast. So make sure that you pay attention. As we talk and do our interview, B-roll runs throughout these Who's Got Next episodes, so you'll be able to see Brandon and I shooting at Game Point Sports Complex. You can book time at Game Point on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse by going to gamepointsports-syr.com/courts. You can rent your time there. You can also book for a party at gamepointsports-syr.com. So make sure you go there today. Thanks to Jim Dispenza and his crew for all that they do. So tomorrow, a deeper look at the conference tournaments that will help lead into the NCAA tournament, and what is March Madness is coming up this Tuesday, March 10th. And of course, another Bearcat Break Room featuring Binghamton University and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, the ingredients to success from Avicoli's. And then for the rest of the week, I will be on site, on location, broadcasting from the Spectrum Center at the Hive, home of the Charlotte Hornets, for the ACC men's basketball tournament. I cannot wait to be down in Charlotte in the Queen City, and I thank all of the teams in North Carolina that have allowed me to dig roots, those teams being East Carolina, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, as well as Duke, NC State, Wake Forest. I can't thank you all enough for allowing me the opportunity to create a relationship from Raleigh to Winston-Salem to Durham to Chapel Hill, as well as Greensboro, Charlotte, and so on and so forth. So thank you to the wonderful state of North Carolina. Thank you for your just viewing and listening over the years and reading. I'll have plenty to come from the ACC tournament. Don't miss a moment. I'll be covering every single team on site. 15 of 18 advanced to the ACC tournament, and I'll be putting up information on the American, the Big East, the ACC here, as well as Division II's field's been set for men's basketball. So all of that's going to be coming up. Find it all. Please stay with us this week. I'm making history with Wake Up Call, with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, with Superpowered Pop, all converging on Charlotte and Cornelius over the next few days. I'm going to be spending my time with my backdrop being the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. So please join me in making history this week. I thank God more than anything else for my life, for the opportunities, and the fact that, you know, we've made history in so many different ways and done a lot of firsts, and this is another first. I've never broadcasted from the Spectrum Center, never been able to do that live on site, and being a kid who loved the Charlotte Hornets and being in a place called the Hive, it's a unique experience. It's fun. It's a return to Charlotte for me. It's broadcasting live from a city that I've broadcasted from before, but this is a whole new arena and a whole new opportunity and a feather in the cap of working really hard and chasing my dreams. So I just want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank everybody that supports me, my brothers, my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, my godson, Noah, everyone in my corner, all of the wonderful businesses that I get to work with and promote all the time. And I want to thank you, the listener, the viewer, the reader, the supporter, for being a part of this. So join me on a journey where we will make history this week at the Spectrum Center. I send you my love and appreciation. And find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Take care from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.